Okay, Mama, you're ready to embark on this journey with your daughter, and I really want to set you up with success. And so one of the foundations is learning to communicate really well. You have to be a good listener. Your daughter is going to trust you more as you learn to listen to her in the way she communicates, in the way that she explains her world, and we're going to give you some basic tips. So who I have with me here is my husband, Jeff, and Jeff and I do a lot of teaching together with marriages and with couples and with leaders and with dads. And we're going to unpack what does it look like to be a good listener? Why is it important to be a good listener?
Well, I mean, it's just us shrinking our gap, our integrity gap. Boy, if you say that you love your kids, you say you love your spouse, prove it. And this is one of the ways in which I took it seriously. Learning effective listening, which we're going to coach you guys on now, was one of the things that gave me bullseyes to aim for with the people that I say I love the most. You know, my wife and my daughters. So this works. That's why I use it. That's why I'm talking to you about it today.
Yeah, and we like to keep things simple. And one of the simple principles is listening well or having good communication and healthy relationships is recognizing that you have a voice.
Yep.
I have a voice, and I can stay present. So as you're engaging your daughter in these monthly dates, you're working to stay present, which means you're putting your phone away. You are working hard to set yourself up for success in that you're really actually being present and thinking about your daughter.
Eye contact.
And not your activities or list of to-dos or the things. And then body language, right? Yeah. So the presence is, I'm turning towards you. Your daughter may not turn towards you. This might be a common posture at the beginning, but as you see her learn her body language changing and turning towards you, you know that you're making the mark and building trust with her. But, you know, the folding the arms, the looking away as she's talking, that's going to communicate what?
Yeah, disinterest.
Yeah.
That you're not with me.
Yeah, so you can say I'm listening, but if your body doesn't say it, that's 80% of the communication. So start with good body language as you sit down and have these conversations with your daughter. And then we have 3 basic principles that we walk people through: mirroring, validating, and empathizing. So we're going to talk through what those look like. The first one is mirroring. So mirroring is literally like a mirror.
That's right.
Yeah. So anything that Jeff would say or my daughter would say, I'm going to repeat it back, yes, like a counselor, but don't sound like a counselor, okay? You got to make it a little more sly because your daughter is very skeptical when you mimic exactly what she says. So it takes practice, and you're going to just say, so you're saying, and you repeat back her words and try to stick with her words, her language. And this is not the time to ask questions. It's really important to keep your body language non-judgmental. You know that like critical mom look that starts to come over when you're listening and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're saying that. Don't do that, okay? That is not helpful for building trust with your daughter. So this is the place where you're mirroring back and you're reflecting back. If she's happy, you're laughing with her. If she's sad, you're also looking sad. The worst thing is to be sharing something really hard and the person that's listening is smiling, right? Congruent to what I'm saying. So stay present and reflect back what you're hearing. And you're not asking questions yet, you're just repeating.
Yeah.
And then there's validating.
Yeah, validation is like a pair of glasses that the other person, whoever the speaker was, puts on. So as the listener, you're putting on the glasses that the speaker has just shared. You're trying to see from their perspective what they were saying and how they arrived at the conclusions they arrived to. Well, this was a big one for me. I used to think that validating meant agreement with. And so I withheld validation all the time from anybody that I didn't agree with what they were saying. It was me that really needed to grow in maturity in that space. Validation has nothing to do with agreement with. It has to do with, can you see from their perspective how they got to where they got? And if you can join someone there, it really calms their brain down, calms their body down when you start doing this. And this is the whole point, right? Every one of us wants to be seen, known, and understood. So mirroring, making sure the speaker has been adequately heard. All of us want to be understood correctly and accurately heard, whether you're male, female, older, adult, or child. We all care about it. And then validating, saying that I'm not crazy. That's what the speaker is wanting to, you didn't, I can see how you got there. And then the last piece is empathy, and this is the gold standard, the gold currency that the world really needs a whole lot more of. And empathy is kind of like a life ring, right? You're standing as the listener to the person that's just speaking and talking about this. And of course, as the emotions get higher and the subject matter gets more intense, they might be swimming and feeling like they're drowning. And it's like they're out there, and you're on the shore, and you have a life ring. As a good listener with empathy, what you do is you toss the ring to them. You say, I'm here. You're not jumping in and drowning with them. You're standing in from a secure space saying, I see you, I'm here. You're joining them in the emotion of the moment that they had and how it made them feel. Empathy is all about the emotion.
Yeah, and this is really vital for us moms because we can fall on two sides of the coin. We can either dismiss what our daughter's going through and being like, okay, that's a really dramatic. Okay, now that's not empathetic, right? That's basically saying you're not drowning, stand up. This is how you, right? And I'm trying to teach her in a moment, and that can be really disarming. There's a place for that, but not during these conversations as you're trying to build trust with her. The other side is actually to jump in the water and start drowning with your daughter. And so she's melting down, you're melting down, and what we just did is we hijacked the conversation, and now it became about me as mom. And your daughter's gonna shut down and say, my mom can't handle this. So as she's being more honest and you have these conversations ongoing, you're going to be asking the Lord to help you to stay grounded and to picture yourself on the side and you're throwing the life ring and you're saying, wow, that you feel sad. That made you angry. You're really mad at me. That gets hard, right? When she starts to talk about you. So this is the reality of empathy, is that it's not jumping in. It's standing firm and saying, yeah, I can see you and I even can feel you. And you're naming those emotions that she's expressing.
And if you're hitting the mark there, you're going to see a calming that takes place, because that's just what happens when you do this well.
Yeah.
There's no skipping of steps, by the way. And this was so helpful for me to know as a guy, that if I did this order and in this order and really looked for the cues that I had gotten the mirroring right. And the speaker tells you, like, you ask, did I get that right? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Is there more? That's a very honoring thing to do at the mirroring stage. And then you shift to validation. I can see how, from your perspective, that you would feel this way at this point, and here's why. And then the empathy, especially if it's there for the speaker, to join them and say, I can see that, yeah, you're hurting right now. You're angry right now. You're so on and so forth. It's a loving thing to do. It's the highest form of communication that we can offer, I think. And God wants us to pursue that and figure it like a treasure hunt. And when it works, it's contagious, and it makes you want to do that more.
Yeah.
But we all crave that, right? So do it more with those that you would say that you love the most.
Yeah, so before we end by modeling it, I want to show you what this looks like, because some of you are getting it, but you're like, okay, in real time, what does this look like? I want to just remind you that when you do this, not only does there's actually neurobiology and changes happening. Your daughter starts to calm down. She starts to not only feel close to you, but she starts to feel known and better understand who she is, because she's hearing her words back. She's understanding what her emotions are. She's actually putting words to her experience, which creates a healthier brain, a healthier sense, and a confident girl who can use her words. And that is going to translate to her confidence that she can do this with God, that He hears her, He sees her, as well as she's going to translate this into other relationships, and she's going to become more empathetic. She's going to be a better listener and be less selfish, which is what we are wanting to do in the long haul for our daughters. So again, we can't give away what we haven't received, and so daughters need to receive empathy and good listening in order to have that become a part of their daily routine as an adult. So I'm going to be a 15-year-old daughter, just got home from high school, and
I'll be the parent.
Jeff's going to be the parent. Okay.
All right, so how was your day, Tara?
It was a really tough day.
Oh, man, it was tough. Okay, it was tough. Tell me more.
Yeah, so my teachers gave me so much homework. I don't even know what they were thinking. It's just over and over. And then there was just a bunch of drama at lunchtime. Yeah.
So your teachers gave you a ton of homework, and then there was a bunch of drama at lunchtime?
Yep, lots of drama.
Like what was the drama like for you?
Yeah, so Sarah was gossiping about Rachel, and they got in this big fight about their boyfriends, and I couldn't handle it anymore, so I just walked away.
So gossip between two friends, Sarah and Rachel, and it just became a lot, and you walked away?
Yeah, walked away. I didn't even get to eat lunch.
Oh, no, you didn't get to eat lunch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah, it was really hard.
It sounds like it was just a really hard day.
It was a hard day. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you see how in that moment, he's just trying to track with what was happening. Even the questions were open-ended of tell me more, help me understand. There's this share with me what you feel comfortable sharing. And sometimes as moms, we can poke and want to ask more and, tell me what the gossip was. And, we kind of pick at it, and that can create distance for daughters. The other piece is wanting to fix it, wanting to make it better. And Jeff didn't fix it. He just sat with me and acknowledged that it was a hard day. And what happens is literally the biology shifts for your daughter. Her body starts to calm down and she feels safe. She feels heard and she feels known by you. And later on, she might have some ideas on how to make it better. Maybe an hour later, you can check in and say, do you need anything from your hard day? So recognizing that listening in the moment is going to challenge you, but my hope is that you will grow in your confidence, Mom, in your own ability to listen well, to build this trusted relationship, and continue to visit this video every once in a while if you need a refresher and you're like, oh yeah, how do I do that well? Have grace for yourself, knowing that this takes time and practice. Your daughter's going to give you real feedback in the time. Don't take it personal. Just use it as fuel to keep growing in this area. Remember, you are the right mom for this job, and I am so cheering you on. I'm so grateful that you're on this journey with your daughter.